On Saturday, June 7th, members of the Revolutionary War reenactment group called the King's Own 4th Regiment of Foot Light Company was at Needham's Town Common. This is the second year in a row the group visited the town to show what life was like for British soldiers during the late 18th century.
So we are here today talking about the British Army during the Siege of Boston and sort of more broadly in 1775 and the rest of the American Revolution. So I'm portraying a captain in the Light Company, the 4th or King's Own Regiment of Foot. It is a mouthful, and I apologize for that. I have always loved history. Little 11-year-old me was obsessed with pirates and didn't understand the difference between pirates and other 18th century costumes. So I went to a reenactment in my hometown, saw these Revolutionary War reenactors and thought they were pirates and said, I like pirates, I want to do that. And it sort of snowballed from there. Now, obviously, I do not make that mistake anymore.
I remember watching the bicentennial, watching President Ford show up at Old North Bridge and Lexington Green, and I was always interested in colonial history. I've been a part of the Monotony Minutemen. I was the captain of that for 3 years, and I've played Jason Russell a number of times and organized that battle.
Mr. Russell, we will do the best to defend your home for you, sir.
I will not run. An Englishman's home is his castle. Huzzah!
I've been a member of this unit for the King's Own for 2016.
So I started reenacting when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I started out on the continental side, but last year I decided to join the British side. Actually, this was one of my first events that I did with the 4th when we were here last year. So I do a variety of things. I work with the National Park Service, but I do work as a historic tailor as part of my day job. People talk about this work-life balance thing. I don't know what it is because this is my day off and I'm here doing this for fun.
The group was founded around 2000 in the sort of the midst of the 225th anniversaries of the American Revolution. One of the goals of the unit was to have a balance between good, solid, historically authentic behavior and clothing and all of that, while also maintaining sort of an awareness that we are 21st century people who have our own lives and jobs and hobbies and modern bodies, and we are not professional soldiers. We were one of the first groups to portray a British regiment as it changed over the course of the war. So we portray the uniform in 1775. We also portray the uniform adaptations that happen as the war progresses. That has become much more common now in this hobby and in this community. We were one of the first to do it.
So doing events like this, what's something that surprises people?
I think they're surprised by the adaptations that they find when they see me in my outfit as opposed to the 75s. They're like, oh, they changed. Oh, they did fight behind rock walls and fired from trees and so forth. And they think that the British Army is just, we all look the same, we're all going to march in. And they do, but they were willing to change and adapt to terrain and the environment that they were fighting in.
So a lot of people think like, oh my gosh, if you're a soldier, you must be filthy all the time, and nobody bathed in the 18th century. But there were pretty strict requirements for cleanliness in the British Army because they recognized that disease was in part caused by not being clean.
So we just want people to come away with a broader sort of both sides view of the American Revolution, to remember that the British were not necessarily monsters. They were people who were here fighting for what they believed in, fighting for their country as they saw fit, ultimately on the losing side of a major conflict.